and welcome to the Sonoma Partners Introduction to Dynamic CRM for Legal Firms. CRM provides a way to get the full view of a client relationship all in one place. Right now, it's living in the heads, the inboxes, the Excel spreadsheets of those in your firm. But with CRM, you can bring it into one place and act on it. Build and maintain those client relationships that are at the heart of your work. A quick outline of what I'm going to cover in the demo. We'll start with mobile access to CRM. Then we'll move on to tracking the full scope of your clients and contact relationships. And from there, we'll take a look at opportunity tracking and reporting. So to start, let's talk about a vital access point, mobile. Client relationship building and business development really happen face-to-face in a meeting, not when you're sitting behind a computer screen. Using CRM on your phone or tablet makes it so that you can get everything you need to know about a client 10 minutes before your meeting. So let's say you're starting your day with a check-in with a client you haven't spoken to in a while. You're sitting in your car outside their office and you want to make sure that you're ready to meet them. You can open up the out-of-the-box Dynamic CRM mobile app on your phone or your tablet. You're seeing it here on my iPad, and it's available for iOS, Android, and Windows devices, both devices, tablets, and phones. Now, when you open up the application, what you're going to see is your dashboard. So I have a dashboard here for me as a managing partner. You can also have multiple dashboards available, which we'll take a look at in a minute when we get back to the browser. As I scroll to the right, you're going to see I have many different ways to look at my business available to me. Not only charts, visual presentations of information, but also lists of things. For instance, here's some activities, and it's smart about what I'm looking at. So I can, for instance, check off a completed activity here and have that be shown as completed. I'm also able to search. So if I'm looking for a client, like let's say I'm looking for JP Morgan, I can put the first few letters of the client's name, and we can see the results that appear to me, not just clients, but contacts, opportunities, searches across multiple entities to quickly and easily get the information that you need. So I'll open up my client's record and I'll take a look at what's going on with them. First thing you'll notice is that it has a very consistent look and feel across the application. Here I'm able to see some key links to related information to this client. So I can look at things like the primary client, documents related to them. I can also see information I want to track about this client here. So referral score from them, for instance, what's our gross revenue, our expenses. That information could be coming from our time and billing system, as well as basic things like contact information. And this is all tappable as well. So it uses my phone or tablet's built-in communication tool to get to that phone number. And in this case, if I dialed into that, it could use Skype or FaceTime to make that call. As I scroll across, I see activities pending for this client so that other people in my firm can see what I'm doing and I can see what they're doing. So I can see, for instance, we're going to invite them to an upcoming event, and I can mention that when we come into the meeting. I can also see that notes are related to this client. So I can open up, for instance, some notes on the new corporate structure or see what happened at the last meeting based on notes that my partners in the firm have put in here. And I can even relate this out to my OneNote application using this note as a really robust tool to collaborate and see notes across projects, firm matters, or across new business opportunities as well. So I'll go back to the beginning of my record. I know that I'm meeting with Stephen here at JP Morgan, so I'm going to open up his record and see what's going on with him and see what information we have about Stephen. I can see his job title, I can see his birthday, I can track really any information that I want about Stephen. So I get a full 360-degree view of our relationship with him. I can see that he's an alum and a friend of the firm, and I know what kind of relationship we have with him, as well as what his referral scores are with us. And you can bring those in with other scores such as Gravit or others. I can also take a look at opportunities related to this client. So if I go back to my search, I can do a search on JP Morgan and take a look at one of my opportunities here with JP Morgan. And I can filter that on just opportunities. And I can take a look at what's going on with this particular opportunity with JP Morgan. This is the opportunity that I'm discussing with them in the meeting today. So I can see what their budget is, I can see the probability of closing this, and I can see a set of predetermined steps and stages that we've determined are best practices for our firm. And we'll talk a little bit more about this business process flow when we get into the browser as well. Here you also have the ability to take action on this record, and you can see that there are different possibilities of what I can do with this particular opportunity. So here I can take a look at different kinds of related information for this particular record, as well as to share this record or to pin it onto my app. So if I pin this to home, this record will appear in a tile on my home screen, and I can get back to it anytime. I can also share this link with anyone in my firm, which will open up an email, which will help navigate them to this record, not just in a browser, but also to the mobile app. So no matter what access point they're using to get to this information, they can get to this record and approach it either on a tablet or a phone or in the browser. So it's time for my meeting. So I'm going to close up my mobile application and I'm going to head in and start my meeting. So let's say I come out of my meeting and I've got some follow-ups that I need to do after the meeting with this potential clients. And as I'm heading back to the office, I want to shoot a quick email to my assistant back at the office so that they can take some action on this particular record. So here I'm going to talk about another interface that you can use for Dynamic CRM, which is your standard desktop Outlook application. Here you can see my Outlook inbox, and I have various emails that are already tracked here within CRM, and I also have this new email that has not been tracked yet. And all I need to do to get this email into CRM and relate this to a contact, a client record, a matter, or anything is to hit the track button right here within the ribbon. So you'll see it took a look at who this contact was, what their email address was, recognized that it was an existing contact in CRM, and related it to this person's record. Now, this can also create new contacts, new clients, or opportunities for you on the fly, or you can create them yourself. So if I right click and look at my actions that are available, I can see that I can track in CRM right here, or I can even go into CRM data, which is in Outlook. And there's no other CRM offering that gives you such a deep level of integration with various Microsoft products, including Outlook. So you'll see that I have my view of my clients here within Outlook, and I have different views of clients that I regularly use, and I can take action from here as well. So I could perhaps right click and create like a task or an email in CRM right from here within Outlook. I can even add clients if I wanted to marketing campaigns or to marketing lists. So what's nice about that is if you're a partner at a firm, you no longer need to have the business development manager send you Excel spreadsheets. Rather, you could just add people to marketing lists right from your Outlook, the thing I use every day. I also see information about this record right here at the bottom while I'm looking at my lists, because I can use the preview pane to see all of the information that is related to this. So same functionality that you have within Outlook. All the detail of the record is right here for you. You can even take action on this. So here, if you wanted to call them, there's Skype integration here, so I could call. So we'll say that now my administrative assistant has taken some action here within Outlook, and I, as a partner, I'm going to go back to my desk and I'm going to use the browser experience in order to complete some tasks. So this is the main user interface for Dynamic CRM, and it starts me on a dashboard, and you can see I have multiple dashboards available to me. So you can have a managing partner dashboard like we saw on the mobile app. These can be more visually based or more tasks based as you need. Here, I'm tracking my open business pipeline as well as my goals for this financial quarter, my referrals, my opportunities, my top clients, and my upcoming activities. So all of these can be parsed out in different ways. So some of it can be data, some of it can be visualizations. But in addition to that, I can actually take action directly on the dashboard for some of this information if I want to do some slicing and dicing. So let's say I want to see all of this first part of the chart broken out maybe by managing partner. So I'll go ahead and look at those opportunities by partner. And I can see within here that Bryson is doing really, really well, and Allie's doing well, as is Kelly. And I can filter down further and further from there if I want. I can also open up the view that this information is based on right here. So if I drill into this, it will bring up the records that make up this chart and the chart itself. So I can continue to use the chart to filter, or I can filter on the data here, very similarly to what I do within Outlook. So I can use this list not just as a static list, but as something that I can interact with. So I'm able to create filters and sort on different information. So let's say I want to sort largest to smallest on estimated revenue. And maybe I want to look at things that are maybe just in the proposed stage. So I can change those filters just like I do within Excel. And I can also search within these records right from here. And I can click into the individual records right here as well. And you can see the topic of the opportunity and the partner record are all linked here. So I could have any other related records linked here if I wished. So I can not only see this information here within CRM, but I can also get it out of CRM in a couple of different ways. One is to look at Excel templates, and we can pull that information out, and I can look at it either online or I can download it to the desktop app. This allows me to put in formatting ahead of time based on the CRM information, and I can see that document within Excel. So in this Excel report, you can see that we can have charts, we can have conditional formatting, and you can see that there's the information related at the bottom. You can also download this data into a regular static worksheet or a dynamic worksheet, which updates the data in Excel automatically for you. Or you can open this up in Excel Online, which allows you to open this data and see it within a browser and not even need to download it. But this allows you to make changes directly here in Excel Online and then save those changes back to CRM. So if someone needs to come in and do large scale changes, they can do that pretty quickly and easily, and it obeys all the rules of dynamic CRM, for example, pick lists or different types of security you have on specific fields, and you could save those changes and confirm that as importing back into CRM. And it's going to follow all of your business rules for you and retain all of your data. You can also send out links to views, but you can also look at recent views and recent records. So you'll see that I have some recent reports here and I have some recent records. So this is really great because oftentimes you're working with the same clients or on the same matters or opportunities over and over and over again, and you can pin them here. So this is a great time saver for anyone who is using the system regularly and they just know, oh, I looked at a record an hour ago or a week ago and I just need to get back to it really quickly. So I'm going to leverage one of these pins to look at the client that I was looking at this morning. So I can get to the record right from here, and I'll open up JP Morgan. Now, everything that you see here is going to be configurable by your organization. And so this layout is just a suggestion from what we've gleaned from other legal firms in the past. And your form is going to look specific to your firm. You'll note that we have different ways to look at the information available all at once, so different forms for different function. Right now I'm looking at the client development form, which brings in information from our time and billing system, such as revenue, expenses, firm profit, tracks information, maybe like some industry, sub-industry, frequent service that we work on with them. Also live information being brought in, like information from the Outlook integration, so emails, phone calls, appointments that are tracked, bringing that 360-degree view of the client into one place. You can see notes that people have put onto this record, as one as the OneNote integration, collaborative posts, so asking questions, getting responses to items on that client record in context, and then related information such as contacts, recent opportunities, recent matters, things directly related to this particular client for us. Really anything you want to track about a person, place, or thing, you can do that here within CRM. Another tool available is Inside View. This is included with any CRM enterprise or professional online license. This allows you to bring in publicly available information about companies or people directly into CRM records and sync that information and follow it as well. So you'll see with JP Morgan, there's recent news. There's also financial details about their organization and even a list of related people. So I can go in as a biz dev person and I can say, oh, I really want to have the vice president on uh, this record, and I can sync that information directly into CRM. So when I sync, it's going to look to see if we have this contact in our CRM system, and I can choose to create a new contact if it's not in there. And it can take the information available and it will tell me, hey, do you want to add all this in or do you want to just add just parts of it? So let's create that contact here in CRM leveraging Inside View. And now that contact is in CRM and related to this client. Now, if I follow the client or the person, this person comes up on a digest email that I receive that shows me any news that happens during the week or during the day as frequently as I want to have it related to that client. So it's a really great resource to find out what's going on with all of your relationships in the firm. Something else that our legal clients have asked for a lot is using white space reporting within CRM. So a great way to track what services are being used and what clients is they're not using, what that white space is, what they can pursue for new business, looking at closed opportunities related to that. And we can see that not just in lists, but also charts, graphs, other visualizations of the data within CRM right here on the record. Also, part of that strategic planning can be here within CRM, so account objectives, goals, etc. You can also visualize a hierarchy of a client. So if I want to look at JP Morgan and its subsidiaries, I can take a look at that here in the visualization of the hierarchy, and I can see roll-up information here within it. So I can expand and I can see what relationships they have with their subsidiaries. And as I drill in, it can show me the additional hierarchy within JP Morgan as an organization. So let's take a quick look at a contact. We'll take a look at Stephen. So we looked at Stephen on the app on our tablet, and here's all that level of detail here within the browser. Things that we can see, tasks, activities related to him, information about his segmentation and his alumni information. Some of this data that we have here could also be coming to us from Gwabit, and we can also track his relationship to our firm. So we talked a little bit about client contact and employee informations and how vital they are to us day to day. Well, through Dynamic CRM, we're able to use the native connections feature to really relate any person or company to any other person or company or thing within the system and define what those relationships are for ourselves. So for instance, we can see that here I'm connected to Stephen and I can see what the nature of that relationship is if I scroll over, and he's a friend of mine, strength of 4 on a 1 to 5 scale. I can also hover over to see that he is related to my partner at the firm, Carlos, who was a colleague of Stephen's in a former life with a little less strength than my friendship. We can see that Forrest was an employee of Stephen's and that Stephen was at one point a former employee of Litware. So a great way to see what those connections are and how you can use them to further that relationship with an individual or with a client company. You can also filter this web of relationships through the minimum strength and maximum depth. So maybe I only want to see things that have a strength of 3 or higher, or maybe change the depth to a depth of 2 so I'm not going so many layers deep. And all of this is something that Sonoma Partners created to really help you visualize what those relationships are within your firm. Something else that we've created based on the intelligence we've received and feedback we've received from our legal clients. So I've gotten back to my desk from my meeting. I've followed up with my assistant via the Outlook application. I've taken a look at what's going on with my client and with the contact I just had a meeting with. Now let's just take a quick look at the opportunity we were discussing in the meeting. And what you'll see on the opportunity record is not just the ability, like we saw with the client on the contact record, to see that 360-degree view, but also to establish a pattern of best practices for how we close this new business and to instill that pattern within whomever is looking at this record. So we see the various steps and stages that we've determined as a firm are most valid for taking this new business to success. And we can put those right here within the record such that anyone who's looking at this knows exactly what they need to do and when they need to do it to be successful. This is something that you can create multiple processes around. So I can switch processes here to different sales processes within the opportunity. You can also change these processes to apply to various types of things. So if you want to have a process that establishes how a contact is dealt with when you first create that relationship, or if you want to establish a process that goes across entities that takes someone, let's say from a meeting to a contact to an opportunity to a client matter, you can build that into the system and stand those up across multiple departments within the system. So you just establish what those processes are and then put them in the system so everyone can use them and be successful. And with that, that was a very high level overview of dynamic CRM within the legal space. It will allow your firm to bring all of that relationship information into one place so you can really start to act on that information and strengthen the firm as a whole. Thank you for your time today and contact Sonoma Partners with any further questions.